Obviously, people know you from being a guitarist in Frank Ants. How would you say this project is different to what was created in MCR?
Well, I think it's different in that it's a completely different band, different people involved. I think each project you do has its own life to it, and specifics to musicians involved in a moment in time that will dictate a sound of a project. For this, it was just kind of me in a basement, battling the songs out, and so I think at the heart of the record, it's very much a folk record in that I feel like it's stories of experiences that I've seen and heard of as a kid, So I think in that respect, it's totally removed from not just MCR but everything else I've ever done, because I've never really touched on those experiences.
Was it a spontaneous decision to create a new band, or was it already in the back of your mind that that's what you were going to do next? Or is that the only thing you've ever wanted to do?
No, definitely not. I mean, I always like to create. You know what I mean? So when for this particular project, I started to feel going through like some sicknesses and things, and that was like one of the first things to go was the creative side, and it troubled me in that I didn't feel like I was getting anything done. I didn't feel like I was getting any better. I felt like I was I was just dying. Like I just felt like everything was like the life was being sucked out of me. So I needed to reclaim that part of myself, and so I thought, all right, well, I know that when I create something, I can ride that creative high for a little while, and it makes me feel human again. So I would force myself every time I just started to feel terrible. I would go downstairs and I would write a song, or I would write a short story, or paint a picture, just do something creative that could be behind, and so I ended up with a handful of songs, and that was it for me. Like I was done, I enjoyed what I had made, and then a couple of friends had asked me what I'd been up to, and convinced me to play it for them. And once they had heard it, they thought it might be a good idea to play it for some other people. And then things started to snowball and kind of got out of control a little bit, and the record came out. So
you've been the songwriter.
Yeah.
That's something new, or did you do it before in your other projects?
No, yeah, I've always written. I think that was always like as a kid, like just wanting to be in bands and write songs, and first couple of instruments I picked up didn't feel right because I couldn't feel like I could write a song on them. I guess that was ultimately what I wanted to do. I didn't want to be a musician. I wanted to be a songwriter, I guess.
Touching on the musician side, guitar, drums. Now you're a vocalist.
That's
how did that happen, and two, how do you feel about it? Is it nerve-wracking?
Yeah, absolutely. I think one, it happened out of necessity because I had written the songs and couldn't convince anybody else to sing them, and it also felt weird to do that. And two, do I like it? Absolutely not.
I know you mentioned earlier as well, you suffer with illness recently. Is that anything to do with the title of your debut album?
Yes.
Why did that ultimately end up as a title?
For me, it ended up as the title because the way I was feeling, the stomach aches and everything that I was going through became synonymous with creating.
Yeah.
So for me, like, it was like a nod to like, all right, these are songs, these are stories, but they stemmed from stomach aches. So it's I wanted to turn that's the play in the record, is trying to turn something ugly or scary into something beautiful, and that was what I tried to do with everything, even artwork on it.
Talking about ugly, scary, and beautiful, you released your video for Weighted.
Yeah.
Humorous, but sort of makes it more disturbing.
Okay.
Would you say your horror film sort of passion has influenced your musical visions?
For me, like when we got told we could do a video, it was like, all right, well, we can do a video that goes word for word with the song and drives the point home what the song's about and all this stuff. And I was like, well, I feel like I did that in the song, so
Yep.
why not take this money and make something different, you know? So that's exactly what I did, and we stretched it as far as we could. I had this idea for, you know, like it's very reminiscent. Everything on the record is from my childhood, you know. So like the stories are, and the influences are, and a big influence for me as a kid were like these '80s horror movies and stuff.
Yeah.
Like I bonded with my
You
dad
can tell,
over it,
yeah.
you know. So it's like, you know, Goonies meets Lost Boys meets Pet
I like that.
Cemetery.
Goonies means Lost Boys.
Yeah.
Sounds like Weighted. Been on tour.
Yeah.
How's it all been?
It's been really great. The kids have been amazing. Like the people that have attended the shows have been fantastic. The bands on the tour are super rad, and everybody's looking out for each other, which is really, really nice. I feel like when you tour internationally,
Yeah.
it's exponentially harder than touring, you know, in your own country. But the, you know, the band being so new and stuff like that, like you need that. You know, you need to eat shit and you know, see the other side of it before things go up. I think that's really important to earn it.
Because you played London last month, sort of a headline show.
Correct.
How would you say this is going to compare to that?
I don't know. Well, you know, it's interesting. I think the first show, you know, that was our crowd, so it was nice to come over and have that
Yeah.
kind of welcome. You know, that was amazing. Now we get to do another show in London, and it's not going to be all of our kids, which is great. You know, like I think part of the love of doing this is introducing, you know, different people to your music. If you're just playing you know, preaching to the choir all the
Same
time,
crowd, yeah.
why do that, you know? So I'm looking forward to these next two shows. I think it's gonna be fun. I hope so, at least.
So what have you got planned for the new year?
Um,
Month till New Year.
Right. Well, we're gonna go home after this, and we have two shows. We have a headliner show in Brooklyn, and then we're doing Home for the Holidays with the Bouncing Souls in New Jersey, which is gonna be really fun. And then I don't want to think about anything but family until
Yeah.
after Christmas, and then maybe we'll do some writing and then probably some touring early next year.